Alright,
And we're going to you live in 3, 2, 1. Andy is back in the seat. He's Andy. Is it good to see me? It's Andy. Off topic. Here we go. It's Andy. Say something, please.
It's not episode 23. That would have rhymed.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to the whole time. I was like, what episode is it?
Oh, sorry. I'm making a bit of noise here first up. Yeah, episode 28.
8, yeah.
Woo! I'm back.
Yeah, man.
No.
And man, it's been a noted absence. Okay, I'm going to address something off the bat because this might be an occurrence throughout the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice, hey guys, what are you doing all wrapped up, nice and warm, and sitting outside, surrounded by a lot of different grains of timber and a lot of different things. We're recording outside tonight in the shed. At Mum's.
No,
Because-
it's a lovely spot. It's a little bit chilly out. Not so bad that we've got to be like fully wrapped up. But there is a bit of traffic that goes past. A few cars, so you might hear that. No, it's good to be back. Good to be back. I watched your solo content.
Yikes.
I thought you did phenomenally well for what it is. Like it's a very hard thing to do, is sit down and have a conversation with viewers and listeners when they're not right in front of you or
Yeah. So when we do like a pre-prod kind of thing,
pre-prod.
like a pre-production,
Oh yeah.
we kind of work it to well, we know how to bounce off each other and we know how to aim certain things. And yeah, I mean, it's a really rough draft, but the main thing we know how to do is like, oh, okay, well, if you talk about that, I know to come in and I can talk about this and whatnot.
Yeah, timing, right? We've been doing it for years, just in our
Yeah.
normal conversation.
Yeah. So when it came to having to do it by myself, and that immediately meant that any sort of podcast we had lined up had to go out the window, because I was like, well, I can't just go through these by myself because I'm really banking on bouncing off Andy for some ideas here. So
Bit of to and fro.
yeah, I mean, in hindsight, sorry, here comes a car, so you're going to experience it. One thing I wish I did was not record the day that I did.
Yeah.
It was just the one day of the week where I was slapped for energy. I was tired, and I got home, and I was like, you know what, I just need to get this done. And it probably helped in a sense of it got my mind, like my mind was wandering really easily because I was overtired.
Yeah.
But
So you could come up with a few things to talk about, but the concentration wasn't there to really drive it home. Like
I didn't talk about anything for the whole until we actually got some structure, and thankfully people actually messaged in when I put something out there to like, hey guys, can you ask me some questions? Because before that, I gallivanted through topics with reckless abandonment, and I was like, man, I've talked about everything in the room. Now what?
Yeah. It's like an I Spy game. But, I've got to commend you on it. I think you did a good performance. And I won't say it was, like 10 out of 10. But
No, it wasn't.
But there's no way. I don't think I could do any better. Like, put it that way. Like, it's going to be... and it really makes you think on these guys that do, like, YouTube for a living or whatever. They're...
Oh, yeah.
And they've got to talk to this camera constantly. And they're just by themselves. That must be a very difficult thing.
Yeah.
But I think... what you got to understand though, for what you were doing, like I really did lose myself in that podcast because it was just you chatting. I was doing something else.
Yeah.
I wasn't fully focused on yourself, and then when you did get into a topic that you really enjoyed,
Yeah.
like then I kind of like
You can
perked the
pinch
ears
back
up.
at it. It
Yeah.
can be monotonous, especially, and I think that's what gives kind of a flair to a podcast, as it is hard listening to one person. You do need that contrast or like juxtaposition of two voices.
Yeah,
And then also, like, I know how I talk, I know the tone I talk in, I know kind of like my style of like comedy or like how I express certain things. So having a different alternative to that is really beneficial, because if someone's not, like I said, I was like, look, if you listen to us for Andy, you are shit out of luck.
what, for that episode?
Yeah, for that episode.
Yeah.
So like I said,
Nah, just every episode.
Look, it was fun, but like I signed off with on the other episode before this, hopefully not again soon. So it's really I'm really glad to have you next to me again.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long couple of weeks. I think I've been away for like 3 weeks. Up at mum and dad's up north. Just a quick shout out to all the mums out there. Happy Mother's Day that just gone past last Sunday.
Happy Mother's Day, and happy Mother's Day to all the dads doing it. As the mums,
as the single dads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I spent 3 weeks up there. Unfortunately, Dad's fallen a bit ill again, and the family rallied and got behind him, and he's doing all right at the moment. And yeah, it was just a bit of a scary time. Kind of fortunate that I'm still off work with my ankle injury, which a bit of an update with that is it now requires surgery.
Which we were kind of hoping for in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, ACC over the years has been pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Just with their contact, how to contact them and things like that, and go through all that system. It's a pain in the ass. What I found this time is actually it's been all right because they've now got a thing called My ACC. No brain deals. And you log.
We've got that many injuries between us.
Yeah. You log in and you can go back to every single injury that you've had previously.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's a list I'd love to see.
That's what I thought. And then I went through it and I can pinpoint every injury, and it was like, oh, Jesus. Been on the operating table and doctor's office a few times.
Yeah.
But what I found out was I've actually done the same ankle 5 times in the last 10 years.
So that's what I mean is with us having our fingers crossed for surgery, I say us, we share an ankle.
Yeah. Well, we've got about 3 between us.
You can rehab it. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass having to do it, but it's done. When you kind of half injure something, you're like, man, I kind of wish I just really did it, so it would get all the fucking bells and whistles. It'd get the big treatment.
Yeah.
So
make me a cyborg. No, so this time round, and obviously then finding out, this is the 5th time this ankle's done. Specialist is like, I already had a ruptured ligament. I've done a second one, so 2 ruptured ligaments, and now they've got to take a ligament from my hamstring and reattach my ankle.
Yeah, a graft.
Yeah, so
yeah.
That's that. I'll be off for a while, but it was very fortunate timing for me to be off to go and spend some time up with mum and dad, and obviously which prompted your solo podcast.
Yeah. Little word of the wise with the hamstring graft. I had to do the same thing for my knee. As much as you have to rehab the ankle, rehab the goddamn hamstring because it is significantly weaker.
Yeah, shit, I bet. I mean, it's an awkward one. Like I've got to come to terms with that. I'd probably never get back to peak performance. Not that I was doing great at the moment anyway, but just with getting back to exactly where I was probably won't happen. Obviously, I'm going to put in a lot of work for the rehab, but this is just a way that I can fix this ankle to a point where I'm happy with it, and that I can actually still function and stuff like this, and it's not going to go again.
Yeah.
I've got to be very careful, but in the way I rehab it. But no,
just stick to what they tell you.
Yeah.
Don't cut any corners because at the end of the day, it's only you that's got to live with it.
Yeah. So we have one ankle.
Yeah.
You got to live with it too, man.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Please rehab it because otherwise it's affecting both of us.
Yeah. So been back home with the parents, and
so what was it?
What have you been up to? What's your
So as well as while you were away, we had a bout of COVID hit the flat, and it wasn't with me. It was with some other flatmates. So what that meant, as soon as I got the call, I was pretty much like, look, I haven't caught it, so I'm not gonna ISO here. Rang up mum, and I was like, look, I don't want to catch it. Just with the people, we've got young babies in the family. We've got people that like someone like my mum, she has got a few things where she really can't get it, for medical reasons. So as soon as I said I was in the house, I was like, look, would you be okay with it? I'm testing negative right now. Would you be okay if I did my isolation up at your place? And she was like, yep, yeah, that's fine. Talked to work, and they were kind of like, we don't care if you're a household contact, just keep coming onto site, but you just have to provide a negative test every day. They didn't actually ask me for a test once. I still did it. For my own sake, even because even like my partner's working, like she didn't see me for most of the time, and she's in the hospital at the moment. So also it was just a whole lot of things where I was like, damn, I really can't get it. So I've come back to Mumsy's. And I was like, you guys got a spare room? And she does. My two brothers already live here. Now my brother has a bearded dragon, right? A big lizard, and he has this big what do you call it? A terrarium? What is it? An enclosure?
I guess
something like that. Well, it's got a rocket log and a heat lamp. And
nice.
I walked in and I was like, that thing's got to go. So no, because so my room, right?
You set it free.
Yeah, I wish, man. I'm staying up in Neve's room, which is my little niece, and that's pretty much what the spare room is at Mum's, is the room where there's like a changing table, there's a little kid's single bed and some nappies, stuff like that. Loud car. Fuck me. And that's where I've been for the last week, is sleeping in this tiny little single bed. We managed to put the lizard out on the credenza in the hallway, and just so you guys know, a credenza is like one of those hallway cupboard things. So like if you've got like a thing with a shelf and then some cupboard, that's called a credenza. And I've been saying it thinking that it was a common word, and people have been taken back and they're like, credenza? Yeah, that's what it's called.
Is that French or?
I don't know, and I'm probably not saying it right, but so I've been.
Before the comments flame you.
Yeah, a couple more crusts when I was young, and I'd be hitting 6'3", right? But I'm not, and I'm sleeping in a single bed meant for infants. Shit. But I brought my computer over and everything like that, and back at Mum's. I'll pitch it to you first. How did you find staying up with Mum for a couple of weeks?
I mean, let me preface this by saying I love my family. Don't shoot me. No, it was good. I mean, we obviously had different scenarios going on. Dad being sick and whatnot, so and it was all hands on deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone was ready to work and do whatever we needed to and things like that. But yeah, just especially as well, I had my brother home as well, and so all four of us, how we grew up, and we haven't been in like home, the four of us, for that long since I was 13. So 15 years ago. Since 14, 15 years ago. So it was intense,
Yeah.
Not
That's what you were sleeping in intense.
No, fortunately I had a nice double bed, not some kids.
Not a shoebox, yeah. Like a cupboard, like a war kid.
Yeah. No, it was all good. Like we got along fine. Everyone did their part. We pissed Mum off a bit sometimes, and and it was just, but it's just hard. Like you go back to living at home and you're used to just doing your own thing, and
everyone's pretty conscious of each other's space.
Yeah. Like I one thing I couldn't get used to, and I probably shouldn't badmouth this, but was just like the routine meals.
Yeah.
It was just like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like at the same time every time. Today I'm pretty sure I only had dinner. Today, it's just whatever.
It's convenience eating, yeah.
Yeah, but they, it's like you had to get up, breakfast, or if I was awake actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about it. Like it wasn't. It's not as bad as I'm probably describing, but it's just different. Going back to living at home.
Yeah.
With all four of us.
Yeah.
It was hard work. Yeah. I don't know. How about you? How did you find your? Because your two brothers still live here.
Yeah, my two brothers still live here. I come in here quite a lot. Like I'm here a lot for work and everything and stuff like that. Like I'm at the house a lot, but same sort of thing. Nearly got it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a fly.
Oh, I thought you were like.
How was you? The parent? I got my claws out.
Oh fuck. Where'd that
Back
go?
on topic. It's been, yeah, so my brothers live here and everything like that. But, like, me and my mum established at a young age. So I moved out of home, yeah, when I was 18, right?
Mm.
And I haven't I moved back for 9 months while I was studying 2 years later or something like that.
Mm.
But other than that, I've always lived on my own. And this is the first time staying here for like an extended stay. And it's the same, like, funny example. Like same thing. I'll preface this by saying I love being here. It's been really nice to see the family and everything.
Yeah,
And it's I wasn't like, fuck, I was here like 4 nights, 5 nights or something like that. And like, it was small stuff of the job allocation.
oh yeah,
Because
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like when you're in a house, like everyone like pulls, you know, in a flatting situation, you do your dishes, you tidy up after yourself, everything like that.
Mm.
But it's kind of like everyone just does their own shit.
Yeah.
But then when you're at home, you're expected to go above and beyond all the time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Dad will be like, "Hey, can you hang out the washing?" And I was like, in my head, I was like, "Oh shit, did I leave some washing in the machine? Like, I didn't do any washing." I said that, and I was like, "I don't think I did any washing." And he was like, "Yeah, I don't care. Like, hang out the washing." And I was like, And then it actually took me a second to click, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, I can hang out your washing. Sorry, man." Or then, like, yeah, like being around for meals and that. So once I was allowed to go back to my girlfriend's house, like, they were kind of cooking dinner, and I was like, "Sweet, later." And then they were like, "What? It's like 8 o'clock at night." And I was like, yeah, she's just got home. I'm going to head over. And they were like, it's like, dinner's ready. We're winding down for bed. Like, why are you going? I was like, what are you trying to do to me? So this is a normal occurrence for other people. Like, it takes me 2 seconds to pick up my phone and keys and walk out the door.
Mm.
Also, just the loudness. Because also, in a flatting situation, you're very much not using shared areas as much. Like, your main point of
Your hub.
relaxation is your bedroom.
Yeah.
So here, when everyone's in the kitchen and in the lounge, and then Mum, just because I was laying in my shoebox or on the computer or something, she'd be like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just in my room." Like,
Yeah.
what?
Shit, close the door.
It's like, it's almost comical how quickly I relapsed to being like 15 years old.
Yeah. I mean, there is some similarities to that, right? So
Yeah.
when you're a teenager and you're living at home and you just you get out of my room, Mom.
Yeah.
You know, like shit like that, and then you finally get your space,
Mm.
and then if you move home and stuff like that, and then you're sitting there and you're doing your thing, and then they come in again, and it's like, oh. You feel exactly like you were as a teenager. You're like, what? I'm okay. Just
Yeah.
like, leave me be. I mean, and that's not a dig at my own mother per se, but I'm just saying the whole aspect of how you're as a teenager trying to get out and trying to like live your own life, and you just really want your own space, and then you finally get it and you get used to that.
Yeah.
Coming home is always difficult, and
Tough gig.
I've done it properly once, and obviously this time was a bit different, but man, for me, like when I moved home, we moved over to Australia and then ended up coming home, and I used to leave like cups on the bench or
Yeah.
in my room or something,
Mm.
and it would just sit there. You know, I've just had a glass of water, nothing like, you know, it's just gonna like rot away or something bad. Oh shit, this chair's gonna rot away. And it's just sitting there, and like say on the bench, and then my old man will be like, he'll bring it up to me, like he'll come knock on the door and bring it up to me and be like, "Hey, you finished with this?" And I'm like, "Oh, maybe."
Yeah.
Is that an acceptable
What
answer?
do you mean?
Maybe. I don't know. I've left it on the bench because I might have another glass.
Exactly.
I might not have another glass.
Well, it's like the dog eat dog like kind of thing of flatting, where maybe cups and plates and that aren't. There's not a luxury of getting a new one every time, and
No.
also maybe something like you don't want to be running the dishwasher 24/7. Like, you might want to save on water or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think I'm doing the right thing by continuously drinking out of the same glass, and it doesn't really bother people my age if one glass just sits there because I'm going to continue to use it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right.
if you
don't-
want a tidy bench all the time, like, that's that's your own battle.
You don't if you have a glass of water and you put it back down, like that thing doesn't need to go through a
Yeah.
dishwashing cycle and then clean and put back on the shelf. Let it sit there maybe 3 or 4 days. I might have
It
more.
might have some more water. What's water gonna do?
Yeah, I had one main thing that my old man used to do, and I mean, I kind of get it now that I'm getting older. Like I understand where it comes from, but it was pretty funny. It was because I'd moved back home and I was staying there, and like if you finish like the toilet paper,
Oh yeah. I know exactly.
you know what I mean. You're supposed to put a new roll back on,
Mm.
and I was notorious for not putting a new roll back on.
Yeah.
Right, I'd finished my business and somehow miraculously finished the toilet paper at the same time.
Nice.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Calculated.
Just one roll per wipe. I mean, per session.
Yeah, per session. So I wouldn't put another roll on, and I would just walk out. I'd be like, whatever. Because in my eyes, it's not that hard that when you go into the toilet and you sit down and you're taking a shit and you're mid shit to put one back on yourself while you're mid shit.
Yeah, not hard.
Right, but at the same time, like it's not hard to do it before you leave. But at the same time, you just like you've done your business, you get up and go. It's not a check and
You're
get the
just happy,
station
you're
ready
happy
for the
for
next.
it to end. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not thinking about your next visit.
Yeah, I always think about these things before I go into, not when I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a generational thing, but anyway, so
It's like home pride or something like that.
yeah, I don't know, but so one day I remember I came home from work or something, and there was just empty toilet rolls all through my bed and all over my bed, and my old man had basically just picked up like every single one that I'd left on the roll. He like saved them, and then just filled my bed with toilet rolls. And like to the point where I was like, I had to clean my room and bin them all, and it was like then to try and make a point
Yeah. Oh,
didn't work.
see, my thing that I'm the worst at, and actually you know this, is hanging out washing. Now I'll do my so I'll start with my whole washing controversies. So, I mean, this isn't like a brag; it's actually a burden. But I have a shitload of clothes, right? I've got more clothes than I need to do with. Maybe like I'm bad with parting with things. Or once a good shirt becomes an old shirt, it's always like, oh, I can just wear
Becomes Andy's shirt.
yeah, or it becomes a work shirt or something like that, and you're like, oh fuck, I'll just sweat in it at the gym or something like that. Back in the day, you know, or even like
Back in the day.
yeah. But you're like, oh, I can work in it, I can sleep in it, or whatever, like something like that. So I don't throw away a lot of my clothes. Eventually I do. I'm starting to do it more. But I've always got a full washing basket, like, ready to go into the washing machine. Because, in all honesty, if I'm completely up to date on my washing and I have no washing, it can't fit in my drawers, so it has to go somewhere. So me having a full thing of washing in the washing basket allows me to like actually clean my room efficiently and have everything away in its place.
And I know that's not a flex because like you've got limited. I've seen your flats like the room.
Yeah,
It's small cupboard.
yeah,
You've got limited drawer space, things like that. It's you're a bit of a hoarder in a sense that not so much like hoarding the old clothes and stuff like that, but throwing them out.
yeah.
Like I've seen some of your shirts with holes and shit in them, and you're still wearing them to work and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Maybe you just need to yeet
cut
those out.
ties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but I'm the same. Like some of the when you get like a favorite shirt,
yeah.
like work wise, I wouldn't wear a holy shirt.
Well, not now that I've got like an actual uniform and everything, but back in the day when you didn't have to wear high-vis and like shit like that, it was just like you had work shirts. But the other problem I have is I put something in the washing machine and then it takes 45 minutes to do a washing cycle. I am mentally checked out the second I turn that thing on. I forget that I've put it on. Often I would have left by then and I'm gone out the house.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that. I found multiple. Oh, this is gonna sound bad. I found multiple washing loads in the washing machine, and you're nowhere to be found, or whatever it is. Like, the amount of times I go to do my washing, and I'm like, oh, there's Jared's shit. I've even hung it up a few times.
Thanks, man. Even
It's
Ryan, Ryan, the guy that I live with now, he says, like, when I've got washing on, he'll be like, have you hung out your washing? And I'm like, oh, that's right, I did put in washing, man. Thank you.
I didn't mind hanging it out because I'd wear half of it anyway.
But what I'm so bad with washing. I actually really enjoy hanging clothes out on the washing line. Like, I really enjoyed.
Not so much taking the back in.
Nah, once again, forget about it.
Yeah.
Like, once it's out of my mind, it's kind of like, sweet, job done. And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh no, this is a 3-parter. You got to come back.
It's because you used to like live in a home, and when you used to, they just magically appear back in your drawer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, mum. Like, I did my own washing at home, but it was always a case of like there was so many people in the house that, you know, if you wanted your washing, you could wash it, hang it out, get it back same day. But because we had so many people in the house, you kind of put it in the laundry when you were young, and you might not see those clothes for a week because mum's like busy. Like, she's got to catch up on shit, and she might not get to the washing. So in the end, it was just like, fuck, it's way more efficient to just do it yourself.
Yeah, I feel that. So you, you said you moved out of home when you're 18.
Yeah.
So where'd you go? You went flatting or?
Yeah, so me and George and Jamie, like, me and George were like hanging out a lot at the time and everything like that. We still hang out at the time, but like at the time we were really like every day we were just doing shit after work and that. And there was only a couple of us that were like, a few people were studying, stuff like that. But me and George were like, Ryan was living at home still, but me and him were like, okay, we're both guys that are on full-time wages. We should look for a place.
So that Forest Hill flat was your first flat. That was your first move out of home.
Yeah. So
Right,
we moved
sorry.
to Karuna Road and Forest Hill on the shore. And to say it was like a first flat is... It was like the epitome of a first flat, sorry.
Drastic understatement.
Yeah.
This was the first flat of all first flats.
So our landlords were really like, there was like this young couple, and I remember when we applied, they said, they were like, look, somebody has to let you are 3 18-year-olds who are working,
All males as well. I think that's got to be said.
yeah, looking for their first flat. Like, we know what's kind of in store, and someone has to give you a chance, and we're happy to be those people. And we were like,
Sign
worst
here.
fucking movie you've ever made.
Hey, they were none the wiser when you left.
Nah, they ended up really cool. Like, you know, for all the shit that happened, we got everything back. It was a really good relationship and everything like that.
Yeah, Jordan was happy to do the lawns.
That was the thing. The landlord was like, I'll leave a lawnmower here, and I'll come over every 2 weeks and mow your lawns. And we were like, mate, bump the rent up $20, and we don't have to see you again. We'll mow the fucking lawns.
Bump it down.
No, up. We were like, we'll like. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
down.
You pay more rent, but we'll do the work.
Yeah, take $20 off the rent, and we'll do the lawns ourselves, because the last thing we needed, and, you know, figure it out for your own reasons, but we did not need our landlord showing up every second weekend.
Yeah.
In the place of business.
To the first flat of all flats of 3 18-year-old men, I'm going to say, from West Auckland, now living on the North Shore.
Yeah.
Easy market. I mean, I had a lot of memories at that flat. I think I spent a lot of time there, more so than a few people even living there. All three of you were in relationships. My university was just down the road that I never went to because I would say, yeah, I'm going to go stay at their flat. It's closer to uni. And then I'll just go in the morning, and I never did. Never.
Yeah.
If I stayed at your guys' flat before uni, fuck, I rarely made
Hilarity would ensue, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still did like uni work when I was there. I will say that. But to actually go into the lectures is like, nah, it's all online later. Fuck it.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, that's the thing I found about uni was like the fact that they didn't hold you accountable. I really needed I needed to be pushed. I needed to be told you have to be here, because as soon as they were like, you don't have to be here, you know, like, I was like, I don't have to be here?
Yeah.
I was like, sweet, why didn't you say that at the start?
Yeah.
And you go less and less and like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so I was working with my old man at the time. I'd work Monday to Thursday. I was supposed to work Monday to Friday. never did it. Thursday would roll around, and a lot of people know Thursday nights in Takapuna on the North Shore,
Yeah.
massive night.
Circa 2014.
Yeah, and I'd go there on a Thursday night. We'd go out Thursday night. I'd scrape together whatever fucking coins I had, mainly you and Jordan shouting me stuff because you guys were actually working.
Thursday was payday for me.
Yeah,
I'd get my $600, and that was rent
It
was
would.
like $140.
and it would just hit it, and I wouldn't come home till Sunday, and I would spend like Friday days there by myself in a flat that I didn't even live in.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, that was because, like, I was working ridiculous hours at the time. Like, the company was a lot more in its infancy. We were a lot less organized. There wasn't this whole, like apps and everything to organize your days. It was just a whole lot of, like, let's throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. But as long as we're doing massive hours, we must be keeping up.
Yeah,
And we would do that. We'd work till 6:30 every day, and then I'd work Saturdays and stuff like that. And it was just fuel. It was the whole epitome of, like, work hard, play harder.
yeah,
And like I said, we would be going out on a Thursday. You'd get home. You need to carry on once you got home for a while. You honestly crashed out for an hour or two, then go to a full day on Friday, be happy it's Friday, get home, same thing all over again.
yeah. Out to town or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drag yourself to work on Saturday, and then Saturday night was just like you either do that or it's a chill one where everyone's at the flat regardless, and
Yeah.
you just I don't know.
watch All Tied Up.
So All Tied Up, correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, if you listen to this, but to my knowledge, when we moved into the flat and we were looking for furniture and everything, Jordan was working, he works as a plumber, and he was cleaning up from a job, I'm pretty sure, and the guy said, hey, like, do you want to take this DVD player and surround sound system? And we were like, yep, for sure.
Done.
Yeah, plugged it in. We were like, went to open the DVD tray, and then it's All Tied Up. Tied spelled THI''D, and it was a porno of these Thai women and, like, BDSM Thai woman porn. And we were like, jackpot.
Like a frat
Yeah.
room of all 18-year-old dudes found this All Tied Up porno. But I think genuinely we put it on the TV like then and there, and it's the only time we ever watched it, well, it's to my knowledge.
And that's the thing. It wasn't. I remember us putting it on, and it wasn't a watching of, like, oh, you know, fucking, like,
yeah, it
this
was
is
just
porn. It was like we watched an intriguement and, like, what is this mythical thing?
it was from the archives.
Yeah.
Like none of us had ever seen a DVD porn
Yeah.
video. We had the internet.
Yeah.
So
It's a Spielberg classic shot on film.
yeah, this was some like documented shit. What archaeology like did
Yeah.
we just unearth? And that thing then like,
A Forest Hill fossil, if you will.
oh, I like that. And so this disc or DVD, like, because in the lounge there was like a fireplace, and this disc or DVD, I can't remember. It's
DVD, yeah.
it sat on top of the mantle of the fireplace for a year,
Yeah.
and it became this shrine of like All Tied Up.
Yeah.
We never watched it again, but it was just this thing, and it was just as soon as you like walked into the lounge, you just saw the porno. It's fucked,
And
yeah.
apparently, at some point, we had fish at the
Yeah,
end of the hallway.
That's
apparently,
right. Yeah. I do remember that.
I don't, and So at the time when we lived in this flat, Jordan and Jamie, the people that we live with, somehow I lucked out, right, and I got the room with like actually not a bad sized room. I had my computer and drawers and everything set up, and I had these nice French doors that opened up onto a deck that I didn't know opened up. So I never opened them.
You took it
And other than that, I had a prison window.
I think it took you like a good 6 months living there before you even opened them up.
I remember what I had to do was actually run my knife along it because they just painted over everything. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, this is sealed shut. You just can't open it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, nah, this is just that classic, like, tenant bodged paint job kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
landlord paint job.
Get it done. Get
Yeah.
someone in there.
And Jordan and Jamie lived in this bedroom, which was the master bedroom for the house. 3-bedroom house. My bedroom, the bedroom beside it, which would honestly Harry Potter would have been pissed off with.
Yeah.
It was so small.
Not Andy
But it
Miller
was
though.
we had this tiny single bed, but then right next to the single bed was a fucking like 55-inch flat screen.
It was the size of the wall.
I don't know. One thing we didn't have a shortage of in that flat was TVs.
Yeah. I think, yeah, well, because all three of you brought one in.
Yeah,
You know, it was like every one of your mothers
yeah.
was like, oh, well,
I was a working man. I bought.
oh, did you? Okay. But yeah, that, oh my God, yeah, George and Jamie in the master bedroom. Well, see, neither of them wanted the shoebox. So they didn't know what to do. They were like, well, like their beds didn't even fit in it. Like a double bed didn't even fit in that shoebox. So what they did is they split up the master bedroom and divided it by a sheet. They hung bedding.
2 double beds next to each other,
Yeah.
divided by a sheet, and half the wardrobe each.
And they both had missuses.
So they both. I actually don't know if there was
nuts.
too many nights, and we lived in this flat for a year, right? I don't know if there was too many nights where they were both home on the same night. They
No.
both went out
I
to their different partners a
I
lot.
spent more time there than they did.
Yeah, I was at that flat more or less every single night.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of nights home alone. Like when Monday creeped around, and you were like, "Oh, no." But then Monday became cool because that was when Ryan came around, and like him and Simon were doing night school just up the road, and that was how I met Simon, and like all this sort of stuff. Like, yeah, it was really good. But we had. Do you remember like the whole doll's head incident?
Yeah.
So somehow, man, like I think I was talking about it on the podcast a couple episodes ago. I'm so shit scared of dolls and ventriloquists.
Yeah.
And there was this doll that ended up at our house, like a
Just ended up there.
I would say it was like 4 foot tall. Yeah, like four Subway footlongs tall. And Jordan was like aware that I was upset about dolls, and he, in his drunken state, severed its head off. And we had a carport outside, which was just like a couple of upside down crates that we'd drink in, a dartboard, some dumbbells, a barbecue, shit like that, like prison yard shit.
Yeah.
And we screwed her head upside down, but this was after we had like drawn all over it. There was screws like screwed into the doll's head, everything like that. All the hair was like
Its
yanked.
eyes were blacked out, had like upside down cross on its forehead.
Yeah.
Like some satanic shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they hung it up. Oh, it was hung up.
Yeah. And
In
we
the
used it as
carport.
a speed bag, and we'd box with it.
Because there was also like a pull-up bar being
Yeah.
screwed into the rafters,
Yeah.
and you'd do a couple of pull-ups.
Yeah. Well,
You'd
me and George
play
actually.
a round of darts, and then you'd hit the doll's head as a speed bag for a bit.
I remember George, like, we were doing a workout and he was doing kind of like tricep extensions behind him.
Yeah.
And then it was real heavy and he fell backwards and the dumbbell went straight into his laptop keyboard and just dented the whole thing in.
Oh.
But so, like, classic flat, like, we really didn't, like, George was really good with cooking in time. I wasn't. Jamie, like, I'm actually, I think he's always been pretty decent at cooking. But we didn't do a shitload of cooking, right? And we we had a crock pot one night and we were like, oh, fuck it. The next morning we chucked on a corned beef bright and early, and then that night we ate it and everything. There's the juices left over in it, and it just got chucked on the bench. We'll wash this tomorrow. Like, let's just go to bed, whatever. And then that became another day, and then that became another week, and it got to the point of, fuck it, just stick it out on the lawn. And we got a new crock pot. And the same thing happened again, and we just had these 2 crock pots outside full of maggots and everything like that. And the microwave shat itself.
Yeah.
It was the microwave that my parents had gotten as a wedding gift. It had lasted them their whole life until I moved out, and it shat itself on day one or something of living there. So it was sitting outside, and we'd put this plate of like old fish that no one had eaten, mixed with the juices of the corned beef and everything. And then we were like, fuck, this reeks. We just need to get it away. So we shoved it in the microwave. And then we were like, fuck it. We shoved the the speed bag satanic doll's head, put that into the microwave as well for Inorganics Day. So if you don't know what Inorganics is, it's when you put all your stuff on the road that it's pretty much you can just chuck out anything. You can chuck out like trampolines.
It's a meter cubed. It has to be the maximum size. I've thrown a fridge away that way. Meter cubed. You put it out on your front lawn. They come and take it for free. It's when you need to get rid of some shit.
Yeah. So we were sitting there and we were like, all right, there is a microwave up there. It looked great from the outside, full of fish, maggots, old corned beef juice, and a severed doll's head. And this unknowing patron pulls up, looks at it, picks it up. He must have felt something sloshing around inside, but didn't. And you just see him look at it, nod to himself, chuck it on the back seat, and just drive off. And I was like, fuck, that dude's going to be in for a hell of a shock, man. I bet he thought he lucked out, eh?
Just some shore kid, just been kicked out of home by rich parents. Like, I can
find your own feet, Calvin.
Yeah, gets a microwave. Imagine that. Gets home, sets it up. Open the door, severed doll's head with maggots,
just spinning. We're talking to you, Sid.
Holy shit, man! That's crazy. And so much more happened to that place. Like Jordan plumbed up a sink downstairs. I got a dart thrown in my ass on crate day. Harry fell through the roof.
Well, we had the whole our neighbors, man. And look, this goes out to any neighbor that lives next to a flat. Let the boys be boys for a while. They're gonna burn themselves out.
Yeah.
It's different. If you've got a baby or whatever, we shared a driveway with an old couple down the back.
Yeah.
As far as we were concerned, they loved us. We loved them. They had nothing bad to say about us. All they said was, why do you boys hang out in that bloody dusty, smoky room under the house all the time? And why did you put a sink down there? Figure it out yourself, Vanessa. But I remember, we got... there was one night we were just drinking and everything, and once again, every Saturday was bloody sound control or something like that. And he even rocked up. I remember him saying, and he was like, do you promise me that you haven't turned it down since I got here? And I was like, dude, I didn't know you were coming. I'm drunk. I didn't know your car pulled up or anything like that. There was always cars driving up and down the street. And I was like, how am I supposed to know that you were coming? You've surprised us. This is the level of music that the volume is. And he was like, fuck, your neighbors just hate you, man, because we are getting called every other day. I think the epitome was when we were it was we had a big night or something, and then Sunday morning,
I remember this,
Jaden's throwback playlist, all the boys had a bloody tea towel in their back pocket. We were mopping, cleaning and everything like that, and we were getting some Shania Twain going. 10 a.m. washing the dishes. Sound control.
Terrible.
Leave us alone, man. Get a life. But you talk to them face to face, everyone's like, no, I didn't hear your music. Didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I remember he gave me the, I answered the door, and he gave me the written up thing, or whatever it is, the warning, blah, 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 the written fucking thing. I don't know. In front of him, took it from him, ate the fucking thing. Straight in front of this dude. I mean, that's probably why they kept coming back. But I was like, fuck, it's 10 a.m. on a Sunday. We're just playing some music.
Some cleaning music. Who doesn't want to hear a bit of "Man, I Feel Like a Woman"?
Yeah,
while you're cleaning up last night's disaster.
Exactly. They need to go to church or something. Leave us alone. It was bad. So we ended up leaving it. Well, I say we, but
yeah. In the end, we had to leave because the landlords did the whole "no, we're going to move back in. We're going to sell up, and we're going to sell up, and we're going to live in it ourselves, do it up, do that whole thing." So it was unfortunate because up until then, it was like, it was the time of our lives and everything like that. From there, I moved home and I studied for a year. Got a small job after that. Went and worked at Sky. Fell asleep on the job. On a live UFC event, I was in charge of... what my job was... So I had a headset on. I was sitting in a room with a whole lot of TVs and everything, real comfy chair, real good air conditioning. Honestly, in the end, it was my fucking downfall. Because on this headset, I could hear the director's assistant that was in the truck outside the UFC event in America, and then they would do the whole, like, we're cutting the ads in 3, 2, 1. And what my job was to play New Zealand ads over ESPN, because naturally it wants to play American ads. And a lot of big companies pay for these ad slots, especially for UFC events and stuff like that. Oh, Jerry decided to fall asleep, and I missed a live cut into some ads, and a lot of companies didn't get their money's worth. And what I was told, we just don't need you anymore. And I'd got the job. It sucked. I'd interviewed, got the job and everything, done the whole internship and stuff like that, and it just wasn't to be. So I moved home for a while. And then obviously I was a bit older at this point. I was getting into my 20s. I'd gone overseas for a couple of months and that, come back. Patience had worn thin. And I was like, all right, time I leave the nest again. And that's when you came knocking, Andrew.
That's when I came in. Now, I remember moving into this flat. I'd just broken up with a lady and moved into this flat thinking like, well, this is all right. Because I'd been living at home as well, and it was just trash. Again, not that home was trash, but once you got that taste of living on your own, you need to get back out there. So, and this flat was, again, in Forest Hill. Bond Crescent is what we called it.
Yeah.
And I moved into this flat. There was two guys upstairs and a couple downstairs. And I don't know, it just... It wasn't like the best looking flat. Like again, it might have even been in worse condition than the first flat of all flats, the first flats. And it was all good, Like I'd found a place, made my room my own, everything, moved in, sweet as. But some of the characters in this flat, like
first time living with complete randoms.
Yeah. That was, which was crazy for me. Like I had to. I was like the first couple of weeks just like locking my door as well. Like my room had like a lock on it.
Yeah.
I'd lock my room when I left. Yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't know like
what the etiquette was.
Yeah. I was worried that not for those people necessarily to take my stuff or anything, but it's just like I don't know what they were into.
Yeah.
It was a strange era of my life, and some of the characters, man, like. Sam upstairs. Fuck, I'm trying to remember their names. There's another dude next to me, and a couple downstairs. Anyway, the couple ended up leaving, and Sam, guy upstairs next to me, was like, "Oh well, do you know anyone else that wants to join in to the flat?" And I was like, "Yep, I got the man. I got the guy that you need. His name's Jared."
Yeah. And Waitangi Day, Waitangi long weekend. With a couple of loads of furniture. We were, I was going to say roommates, flatmates.
We were officially flatmates.
Long time coming.
Yeah. It was a robust flat.
It was a good flat. It was a long flat.
I mean, like, it was nothing fancy. The house was, like, covered in cobwebs. And you took a look from it, like, from the street, and the kids would probably run from it.
Yeah. We never got trick-or-treaters.
No, never.
Yeah. Not to mention, we had 2 front doors.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was the entrance which went into our flat, but there was also a sublet room downstairs with its own kitchenette and everything like that a man lived in. And I saw this man 4 times. First time I saw this guy, big storm outside. I hear the recycling bin blow over and everything like that. My room was formerly the garage, right? So where my head rested on my bed, you could see it's been patched up from where they filled in from a garage door and stuff like that. Like my room was long and thin. And
nice.
Yes. And I open the door, and all I see is like the light shining off the whites of this man's eyes as he's through the night, like picking up all the recycling and everything. And he was like, "Hey," and then just scurried back into the house.
Turtle walked back in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Crab walked in.
Yeah.
He Zoidberged back into his little cave.
And then all I got out of it was, fuck, that guy's got one arm.
Yeah, he had one
And I
arm.
went up to Andy and I was like, you know, the guy downstairs has one arm? He was like, what?
I had lived there for about 6 months and I still hadn't even met this dude. So I moved in and I remember Sam saying, "Oh, just be careful when you're upstairs. Don't make any noise because he'll complain." And because the house was under Ray White,
Yeah.
or the letting out, or the
Yeah.
whatever, fuck, I don't know terminology, was under Ray White, and he would email Ray White saying they're too noisy, and then they would get on us. And I was like, okay, sweet, that's fair enough. Like, just be careful when I'm upstairs. Still never even met this dude, and you came to me saying, "Bro, he's got one arm." I was like, what the fuck? Oh shit! This guy was becoming more mythological by the second.
Yeah.
And then one day, it was a massive storm or something, and the power cut off, and it was like, ah, shit. And we saw the neighbors, and their lights were on and everything. We're like, oh, well, okay, well, let's turn it on. And we're searching around for ages for like the switchboard and everything. And Sam wasn't home, and I had to message him, and he said, "Oh no, the switchboard's in his flat downstairs." And it was like, wait, what? So he had the access to the switchboard to turn the thing back on, and I had to go downstairs,
Yeah.
outside, around to his flat, knock on his door to switch it back on. He had two arms.
I don't know what I saw.
But that was so fucking annoying. Like,
Yeah.
every time the power went out, we had to, like, message this dude. Or it would be, like, a massive thing. Like, I would message Sam. Sam would message him. He would flick it on. Like, you know. And,
Yeah.
Or if he wasn't home and it was locked, we're shit. We got no power for the,
Yeah,
for
we're
the
shit out of
foreseeable
luck.
future.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And we did have some, we had some characters in this flat.
Oh,
Like,
the people.
look, we lived
the-
with some,
The people's flat.
it was, this was the time where,
It was like
I
a
mean-
halfway house
Yeah.
of like you're on like a quest,
Yeah.
and like people stopped there for a while.
yeah,
and
they just regained, like, people that had, like, I mean, those people don't listen. I haven't even talked to any of these people since I left that flat. But they were just people that seemed like they were down on their luck and just needed to recharge their batteries a little bit and then
Yeah.
go back out into the big wide world. And we were just, like, caught in the middle of it.
time like froze for us though. Like
Yeah.
we just nothing was happening. Like, well, that sounds bad, but nothing was happening in our lives. We just kind of we're just doing our thing.
Yeah.
And we see like people come and go that were just the absolute characters. Like these people could be influencers for like characters in films. It was unreal.
But that was also it had gotten to the point where, like, honestly, like, something like this podcast came from the birth of that, because this was
Yeah.
to the point where me and Andy were just, our lives were so intertwined
Yeah.
of, like, routine interests. If I was about to send a message saying, "Do you want to do this?" he had already sent it to me 2 seconds earlier. Like, we were
Yeah.
both on the same key with everything.
Synergy.
Yeah.
And the amount of time,
Nice,
like,
nice.
yeah, we would. There was it was 2-story, and we're at the upstairs was like the main area, and we'd go out to this deck, and we'd look over the back.
Honestly,
the back,
to a lush, decent-sized lawn for a
back
North
lawn,
Shore
yeah, that's what I
property.
was trying to say. Yeah, and we would sit there and we would have beers and we'd talk like we are now,
Yeah.
just minus the equipment, and we would have these conversations and talk, and we're like, fuck, we need to record this
Yeah,
shit.
just
And it-
chain smoking cigarettes.
Oh, just constantly, like one goes out, another one.
Yeah.
Beers are flowing constantly. Doesn't matter if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
whatever.
As
Any
long
day.
as it wasn't Mondays was our rule in the end.
Yeah, actually, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any day that wasn't Monday would be,
Play on.
yeah, ciggies, beers, conversation.
Mm.
I would love to go back to that flat and record an episode.
Yeah.
Probably not there now.
No, yeah, I don't think so.
But there was just this place was just so iconic. Like out the back in the lawn was this shed that we were so scared of it that was
It was written
'cause
into folklore of just like it was like this old crooked willow with like one swinging
one rope swing.
one rope swing and that like went over it and like the leaves were like running down it and everything like that.
And just this
With
in the
like-
back of the
Property.
was just this old shed. Well, not old, like it was actually a relatively new shed, but it just
Yeah.
looked like,
Withered.
yeah, it was like, oh god, this is,
Yeah.
And we opted, we're like, we're never going in there.
I never went on the lawn. Like
But I think I did end up going in there. I think it was like the last week that we ever lived in there.
there was someone else that put me onto that shed, and he will come up soon.
And I don't know why, but I just thought there would be some crazy shit in there that had just been left by previous owners or whatever. I went in there, dead empty,
Concrete floor.
and concrete floor.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Rent it out.
Why the fuck did we not use this? We just sat on the deck looking at it from afar, smoking ciggies like, it's haunted.
Yeah.
Never going in there.
If there is one place to not go,
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
sitting in the chair that I still sit in all the time to this day. I had a chair that traveled. It's traveled with me for years. I still have my chair.
Oh, it was scary, but at the same time, like, fuck, why did we not use this? We could have.
Yeah. So upstairs was Andy and the head tenant Sam.
Sam, yeah.
And you know Sam better than I do, so
Yeah, no, Sam, he was a good guy. Is a good guy. Definitely liked to play the field a bit, you know, like he was single when I met him. I think he's in a relationship at the moment. You know, he'd play the field. And I remember going out with him the first week I moved in because the other people in the flat were quite young.
yeah.
And we were closer in terms of our age. And so we went out to Takapuna and had a few beers and stuff, and we got to know each other quite well. To the point, like, where like he went and like dropped me off at festivals and stuff like that. Like, we were, you know, relatively close, which was good. But he was the head tenant, and he was there through the whole thing. Gosh, I'm forgetting their names, but yeah, a couple downstairs, another guy next door. But a couple left. You moved in while the other guy was still upstairs.
There was like a week crossover.
Yeah, and then he left. And so for a while, it was just the three of us. And then Sam got in his mate.
Yeah.
And in walks Dad.
All right. So Dad, me and Dad, sorry, I won't say his real name. We called him Dad.
Yeah.
So
We can't say his real name, but his real name's fucking great as well.
yeah. So everything in this house was upstairs, right? Bathroom, kitchen, Andy's room,
Yeah.
Sam's room, lounge deck,
No,
everything
no
upstairs.
bathroom or toilet downstairs. Just
All
two,
that was
two
downstairs was my garage converted room and then one room on the end,
Yeah.
which was Dad's room.
Yeah.
So me and him actually became quite friendly with each other because we were just like the downstairs people. Like you'd catch each other in the hallway and
Yeah,
stuff like
as
that.
you do. Yeah.
Now this guy was early to mid 30s.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah. Yeah.
Full like big bushy beard, kind of like a rugged dude.
Yeah.
I
It stretches in.
Yeah.
Rode a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was this like happy-go-lucky child. At the, like, yeah, I was like 21. I was like 22 maybe.
Yeah.
But like,
Bright-eyed and bushy tailed.
yeah, like nothing could upset me. Like it
Yeah.
was just like kind of like yeah, and
My life's great.
yeah, and he was always just kind of like the world will beat you down. And I was
Dark
like,
and gloomy. Just,
yeah. I was like, one day it will, but it won't be today. And he was kind of like, go fuck yourself. And but this dude, he was just like, we turned to him for so much wisdom. Okay, and he was a kayak maker.
yeah.
We did not see one kayak the whole time. Nor did we, dude, I never saw him go to work. And he was like, nah, mate, I can build a fucking kayak. And I was like, what do you mean? How do you fall into that?
He would, he would like, he would be, I would leave for work before him and he'd get home before me or something.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh, no, I didn't go to work today. Came off the motorcycle or something like it.
There was always something, eh?
And then that dude quit ciggies so much.
Yeah.
Just like, he probably fueled my addiction for smoking.
Yeah.
That just, he would buy a pack light up a cigarette. Sorry, okay, we would already be sitting on the deck.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
the thing.
he would
come out and join us and we'd be like, tell us a story.
Yeah. He would open a brand new pack, light the cigarette, and then chuck us the pack of ciggies and go, my last one, boys.
Yeah.
And he did that like every week for 6 months. And then just proceed to tell us the story, like just life stories.
Yeah.
And just like,
We were like, man, this guy's lived 1,000 lives.
little did he know, we just had like a sesh.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there like, holy shit, tell us.
Yeah. And it got to like I said, me and Andy were in such this like thick as thieves routine where we've always been into like movies and everything, but we were really delving into it. We made an effort of every Sunday sitting down and ticking off like a really decent film or something we'd heard about or something that we'd seen. I wanted to see something like that, get through the classics, and we'd always order a pizza, get into bed, get coddled up, and watch TV. And it got to the point.
It'd be like the middle of winter, and this place had no insulation. This was before the government required insulation in a house. It was bad, right? And Jared had this long ass room and like a giant bed, and my room upstairs was fucking cold. So I was like, fuck it. We'd like jump into basically bed together. It sounds a bit weird, but we'd jump into this bed because it was like long and narrow, massive flat screen TV, and it would just be like our own like movie theater in a way. And it was like it was just the Sunday routine.
Yeah.
We'd order the pizza, have maybe like a sesh or something, and we'd watch a great film.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect way to end the
But
weekend.
then, once Dad came in, it got to the point where we would be fucking, we could barely see, and we'd be walking up and be like, Dad, what should we watch? And he'd be like, you want to watch this? It's real fucked up. Keep an eye out for this. And we're like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then,
No, it started like I remember we walked upstairs after the movie or something on a Sunday night, and we like went for a ciggy before bed, and because we were out of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, like, what'd you guys watch? And we're like, oh, we watched this. It was crazy, right? And he's like, man, you wanna see crazy?
He was like that. Like, he just really reminded me of that cool, like your friend's cool older brother that as you get older, you're like, why is this guy here all the time? And you realize he's kind of like weird.
You realize he's your flatmate.
Yeah.
And he would give us like movie selections, and they were like, yep, we'll pencil it in for next Sunday.
Yeah.
And we did. And we did with
We
this.
always watch it.
In the routine, we're back in it, like watching the movie on a Sunday, and we're like, okay, what did Dad say we need to watch? And we would watch it. And it got to the point where we would walk back upstairs into the lounge, and he'd be waiting for us to.
I've never seen someone use a lounge so much. That man, I don't know if his room was shit or anything like that. I never went in there.
No. But he'd be waiting for us to like, and then we would give like our movie like critique, and
try and sound real smart and everything, and he'd be like, "It's about this, this, and this," and you're like, "Yeah,
oh yeah, man."
yeah. Wait, what character?
What did he say to you? He's like, how are you guys like?
Oh man, so what this guy? Look, he gave us so much shit.
Yeah,
but you could tell
it,
deep down he cared about us so much. And I don't know if it was like he didn't have siblings or anything like that, or if he kept to himself a lot and this was like his first taste of like living day in, day out with someone like over 10 years younger than him. But he was like, you guys are so stupid but so onto it. He was like, you both have full-time jobs. I can tell you guys both have respectable jobs.
Yeah.
And he was like, you guys, like, you get shit done and you can talk the talk when we're actually talking about things. And he's like, but holy fucking hell, you are children.
Yeah. He's like, how are you guys like 22 and 12 at the same time? It's like, he didn't get it.
Yeah. And we were like, man, like, we were just like so happy-go-lucky. He said that he called us. He's like, you guys are just literally like SpongeBob kids. But we were like, yeah, you think that, Dad?
Yeah, we're like, respect us, Dad.
Yeah.
It was fucking good.
Good dude.
And the day he moved out, man, I was upset.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, fuck, how are we ever going to replace this guy?
Yeah.
And lo and behold, another character comes walking into this tavern. And I remember that he came in. His name was also Sam, and we'll get to that. And he walked in, and he's like, so you guys are green friendly?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we try to recycle when we can.
And he was like, oh yeah. And like shut down.
It's like, oh yeah, cool. Not what I was meaning, but
Yeah.
good to know you recycle.
Good to know you split your plastic.
That's what I mean, though. Like, we was so, or at least I was so fucking ignorant of this whole life of
I
flatting.
remember us
Just like,
cottoning onto it, and we were like, "Oh, you mean like?" And he was like, "Yeah." And we were like, "Oh, dude, do what the fuck you want."
yeah, it was fantastic. And so we had this dilemma, right? There's just us two SpongeBob kids living in this flat and two different Sams.
Yeah, we are. Also, I'm going to say this: we were working. We were grown, functioning men.
Yeah.
But to anyone that looked at us, they were always like, "Holy shit, you guys are morons."
And we owned it, though. We
Yeah, we
loved
loved
it.
it.
We turned
Yeah.
into that skid, like,
Yeah.
as much as we could.
That's
Because
the
it
thing. We
was
knew. We were
fucking
like,
funny.
"Hey, you sit down and talk to us for a second. We might blow your mind."
Yeah, for sure. And so Sam, the head tenant that lived upstairs, he grew up in an era. You know, he was probably like early 30s. You know, like crazy tattoos. He loved, you know, his like metal rock things
Yeah.
like that. You know, he was
Stuff that we didn't.
yeah, he was pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
And
Horns up.
yeah, in a sense, like, you know, he's pretty, you know, worship Satan in a way, maybe. I don't know. And this new fella, Sam, that came in, bigger, robust man,
Jolly.
jolly, big,
So jolly.
massive beard on him.
Love just being in
Yeah.
his gruds.
Oh yeah, the dude walked around in his undies like 99% of the
Yeah.
time, and I mean,
Real sweet, charming dude.
yeah. And so we had this dilemma of how we were going to divide them up because it was Sam and Sam.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got there, but it was clear as mud
Yeah.
once it was. So upstairs Sam we called Satan
Yeah.
for Satan, and downstairs Sam was Samta for Santa. And not that we ever called that to their face.
No.
But it became Satan and Samta for the remainder of that time in the flat. Not bad nicknames, if I say so myself.
No, and Samta, like, he joined me in the downstairs brigade.
Yeah, once Dad left, yeah.
Yeah. So he took his room, and completely different kettle of fish. Completely. Honestly, dare I say,
Like Patrick moved in.
yeah. This guy was kind of like, "You guys got your shit together," and we were like, "What?"
Like we became the role models.
Yeah. But he was a really good dude. Whatever you needed, you got,
Yeah.
which to some happy-go-lucky kids like us led to some very quick habits becoming very strong habits very quickly.
Yeah. Became part of said routine.
Yeah.
Um,
Shit.
yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I played the fifth.
Yeah. But no, he was a really good dude. Married now.
Yes. Yeah. He had a, he had a missus. Yeah, that's right. He's married. That's crazy. Like that. I don't know how good this is for you listeners, but us reminiscing about this is crazy for
Yeah.
us, like, to look back at it. That was nearly like 7 years ago.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Fuck
That
me.
was 6 years. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
6 years. Yeah, probably nearly 7.
Yeah, I've
actually.
lived in my flat 3 years,
Holy shit, that's
and
and just the characters that we had that place, the one armed man downstairs to the satanic guy upstairs
was-
to Dad to the center.
no, but that caught us in this big period of growth of, like, we weren't kids anymore doing like the first flat thing, just doing whatever
Oh,
we
no.
wanted because mum's not around kind of thing. We weren't studying. We were starting to make some
Well, I mean, I was doing study for. We're both doing like apprenticeship style sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, but like we were starting to make some like money you don't scoff at,
No.
and you could start buying the things you wanted.
Yeah.
The bars we were going to started to get a little bit nicer. We were eating what we wanted,
Oh yeah.
but it was just like the whole routine of like all that shit kind of. We came out of it better people and shit like that.
Do you remember the so the other guy that lived upstairs and he moved out was like just this other room that just had so much shit in it. Like you know in Harry Potter, like how they got like that room of requirement.
Yeah.
It was like that. Every time you walked in, you'd find something new.
Yeah.
It was packed to the brim of just like there was like cardboard cutouts, weights, snowboards. There was
Postie's
like,
outfit.
Yeah, a Postie's outfit. There was a bong in the cupboard. There was condoms, like not used ones. You know, just boxes of condoms. There was fucking anything you needed and a bed.
Yeah.
And our mate Connor slept in there heaps.
There was It was infested with fleas.
Yeah. But in there was like the Wi-Fi, the
modem.
the modem.
Yeah.
So if the Wi-Fi went out, someone had to like venture through and climb over the weights and like get in there to like flick it off. I remember one day as well, you got bombarded and got blindsided by the Cancer Society.
Dude. The freaking Cancer Society. Yeah, cancer's shit. Like, hang on, I'm not going to go in hot on this.
Yeah, no, it is shit. Fuck cancer.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. Cancer's shit. Fuck cancer. But I had just showered. I was walking downstairs and nothing but a towel. I hear a knock at the door, and I was like, it'll be a courier, like just dropping something off,
You're
whatever.
like, ooh, destiny?
Is this the love of my life? No, it wasn't. It was a door knocker. I opened the door, and she was like, do you have a second to talk about cancer? And I was like, look, who am I if I don't have a second to talk about cancer?
You also got you caught me in my bath towel.
You caught me in my robe.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
she was giving me all these stats and like everything, and she was like, oh, you need a with this little amount you can save this much, and with this you can do this much. And I was like, look, okay, I'll play your game.
Yeah.
How much do I have to pay? I was like, look, work's kind of scarce at the moment. Maybe I was lying. That's up to the listener. I was like, I can give you $10 a month or $10 a week or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Mm.
And she was like, the people just across the road did 20.
Oh, trying to con you.
So I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, look, at a stretch, can you put me on to $12.50? That's the same as like Spotify and shit like that. And she was like, well, actually, she's like, do you have, like, how are you going to do it? And I was like, well, I'll do it with FPOS. And she was like, well, our FPOS doesn't do anything less than 20. And I was like, well, 20 it is then. And she was like, but if you do 30, like, there's the chance you go into a draw for all this stuff. And I was a gambling man. And I said, let me get a horse in this race. So I went in for 30. I ended up paying $3,000 over the course of a couple of years to the Cancer Society because this lady caught me at a bad time.
Yeah.
I rung them 2021, start of 2021, and finally cancelled it.
Oh shit. So you've been paying $30 to the Cancer Society since then.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah, it was either every week or every month. I couldn't remember.
It must have been every week.
Every
Must
week's
be every-
ridiculous.
Yeah, but $3,000 over.
Yeah, true.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Because I rung them to cancel it, and they were like, oh, like Jared Sandon? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, we've talked about you in the office. Like, you're a really good contributor for someone your age. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, gee, thanks. I lied through my teeth, and I was like, I am on my ass. I have lost my job through COVID. I can't pay this anymore. I have this terrible thing where I can't just tell people the truth when I'm delivering bad news. So I was like, yeah, look, I have no money. I've lost my job. And she was like, look, it doesn't matter what you donate as long as you donate. We accept $1 a month. And I was like, that's not what the fucking lady said. Yeah. So bugger you. And I was like, no, poor, gotta go.
Yeah,
And then she was like, okay. And then she actually ran me through kind of like where my money had gone, who it had helped, and everything like that, and like the way that it was allocated, and it was really heartwarming. And then like a week later, I got this big gift basket full of like Cancer Society sunblock, some nice soaps, some food, and everything. And I was like, huh, not $3,000's worth, but money well spent.
Yeah, man. And that street, Bond Crescent, a lot of door knockers and a lot of houses that they moved.
Yeah.
Like they would move houses off that street to other locations, which I personally don't fucking
Holy
understand.
fuck a cow. Oh,
shit.
shit the shit out of me. Sorry, carry on.
Well, I personally don't understand the whole moving house thing. Anyway, you used to have this BMW car
Yeah.
that was like parked out front for ages, and I'm pretty sure this thing is like broken down. Like couldn't-
Nice little 320i coupe. This thing
Yeah.
was great, all right?
But it was. I'm pretty sure at the time. Because
Yeah.
I remember we
Yeah,
broke
yeah,
down
yeah.
on the top of Albany Hill
Yeah.
and like blew the fucking radiator, and
Mhm.
this thing wasn't moving.
Nope.
And
Got it home, parked it up, didn't drive it again, engine seized.
yeah.
Got $400 from the scrappy, kicking myself still.
So at the time, I remember us like, I don't know, we were hanging out with something. You're like, oh, do you have this? And you're like, oh no, it's just in the BMW. I'll go grab it. We walked out on the street. The BMW was gone, and we were like, what the fuck? We didn't even realize that it was like missing.
Yeah, because it wasn't parked directly outside the house because I had to park my work truck and shit like that. It was parked a little bit down the road, and I was like, great, this freaking car stolen.
Things gone.
Alarmed, but stolen.
Yeah, so confusing at the time.
Found out shortly after that they had let out a flyer saying, please do not park your car on the road during this night. We need to be able to get a whole house up the street.
Not that we checked the mailbox.
Yeah, old Jerry didn't see the flyer, and they had grabbed my car and towed it to the next street over, and it was sitting there after I was shitting myself that my car had been stolen, ready to call the cops, kind of just like, fuck, what do I do? Who do I have to find to, like, what's happening here?
But it could have been months.
Yeah.
So we had no idea.
I didn't drive the car.
We
So
didn't
it
even-
would just so happen that we needed to get something out of that car that day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, who knows when I would have found out.
Yeah, it would still be there.
It had moss growing on it.
Hell of a time.
Is that enough flat reminiscing?
Yeah, man.
Because we did that.
That's a wrap as well.
Yeah? You want to put a wrap on it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, man. Can do. Oh, actually, we'll finish with... What's your yucks and yums for the week, Andrew?
Oh, shit. You caught me off guard. Not like I knew this was coming or anything. My... fuck, I don't even... I honestly don't even know. I don't really have a... You hit me with this every week. I probably need to think about this a bit more. You go first.
Shit. Okay. I knew this was coming as well. I'd say my yum for the week. I might do a cop out, man.
Cop out.
Actually, no. We'll start with yucks, eh? Should we do yucks first? Because it's easy to complain. It's easier to complain than to praise.
Yeah.
I mean, terrible but true. What am I really upset with?
Oh, I'll go.
Okay.
Throw it away enough. So yeah, my yuck would be the unfortunate case of Mold Man getting sick again. That's my definite yuck, obviously.
Yeah, that is a yuck.
It sucks. He's doing okay. So anyone listening to everything, you know, we're doing all good. It's a definite yuck for me. But you know, he's doing all right, and with that follows my yum is that there's been so many people around me supporting me and supporting our family with everything that we're going through, and it's pretty like massive to see. You know, it's like friends supporting me, the way that myself and my brother, we dropped everything and went to support, our family, things like
Yeah.
that. So big ups to everyone that has been sending me messages and, telling me it's all good and things like that. So, yeah, big ups to you guys.
Nice one, man.
Thank you.
And the Miller household stays strong. You guys definitely get around each other when necessary, and
Yeah, I mean,
you've done everything
yeah,
to support your mum, support your dad.
yeah. As much as I
everything like that.
said like before, maybe like bagging on a bit of going
Yeah,
home,
but it's
going
in-
home and moving home and
It's
being
in
back with the
jest.
family.
Oh, everyone
Yeah,
knows that. It's all in
yeah.
jest.
It's been so
It all
nice
comes
to
from a place of love.
have everyone home and and to have everyone around us as well, like all the boys, all the girls. Thank you, all my family. Thank you, and yeah, we'll get through it.
Sweet. Well, my yuck for last week, and I don't want to say it because, look, it's definitely not that bad. But after watching it, was the performance that the Warriors put on last week.
Oh yeah, shit.
I'm not going to get into it because I don't like to dabble on the losses. It is what it is. I have high blood pressure. I blame it on the Warriors. But man, we're playing against a team with one man down, two men down at times,
Yeah,
and we can't find a fucking overlap.
no. It was.
We can't put points. We're getting scored on by a simple draw and pass to the wing when they've got two less people.
Yeah, I felt personally that was more embarrassing than the 70-10
yeah.
loss against the Storm.
Yeah,
Storm are clinical. We know that.
happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
and
get a
that
bounce
was
of the ball.
that was 13 men. It's like, okay, well that's that. But to go down to 11 men at times,
Yeah.
and they were still scoring with 11 on the pitch,
Yeah.
was
I think on the upside, I
big
guess.
yuck.
Yeah. I mean, the upside is that we get Tohu Harris back this week, the Warriors, so we have our captain back.
Yeah.
That's a veteran head that's going to be able to keep everything calm. Probably going to be able to. He does a good job at connecting. Gives us a bit of edge play. He can talk on defense because we definitely have a young center and wings, so he's next man in on those edges. He can talk. Fire the boys up. We've got South Sydney this week for Magic Round.
Is it South Sydney?
Is it? Yeah, I think we've got
Oh
South
yeah,
Sydney.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
got Rabbitohs this weekend. They're on a bit of a skid. Let's fucking put a nail in the coffin. Let's put some points on, boys. We got some people back. Young Arcee that we signed from the Cowboys, he's playing well. I'm liking him. My yum
Yeah, what's he finish on a strong note, Jared?
finished on a strong. It's going to be Michael Chandler with his freaking front kick on Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Look, this is a hard yum to call because Tony Ferguson is a freaking legend in everybody's eyes. We all know what he did. Was it 11 or 12 fight win streak without getting a title shot? That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But Michael Chandler, man, as advertised, this guy came into the UFC, said, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. I'm on the tail end of my career. All I want, and he says it all the time. The man speaks like a freaking god. He said, all I want is to touch that 9 ounces of UFC gold.
Yeah.
He was like, it seems like he is happy to stray from the game plan just to make the fans happy.
Yeah.
And he can put on a fight. He's marketable. And then he gets on the mic and he's like Ric freaking Flair. He's calling everybody out. And also seems like a great family man. Yeah, he's fucking 2-2 or whatever in the UFC now, but
Yeah, I like Chandler, and I'm starting to come around to the aspect of him becoming champion and things like that.
Yeah.
Potentially,
I don't think he'll get there as champion. I just think
No.
that the top dogs are too much top dogs. But I think for what he came into the UFC as, when it was like, man, do I have to prove myself coming from Bellator? The whole thing of like, man, what can Bellator guys not compete in the UFC?
yeah,
He's putting bums in seats. He's one of the most marketable guys we've seen in a while. And
yeah, I think he's just a little bit off that. But like you say, as the yum, that front kick against Tony Ferguson after the first round being, who knows, Tony looked good.
Don't look good for the
Yeah.
first time in what, 3 fights? Yeah.
And he just throws his leg up. Man.
Punts his fucking head off.
And a guy that can market himself like that and be such a good fighter and stuff and have some crazy knockout power, I can't wait to see him in future fights. Like
Yeah.
every fight I'm with him.
Open a card with him. I'll
Yeah.
watch it every fucking weekend.
Yeah, fucking A.
And with that, guys, that puts to the end of episode 28 of Off Topic. If you guys ever want to email in, like we did last week for the solo episode, we're happy to do that anytime. Send us your fucking questions. Honestly, anything that you're scratching your brain around, brain at, get it to us at Jandy, Off Topic Jandy at gmail.com. Instagram, that's at Off Topic Chat. And then on TikTok, we are at Off Topic Potty. So if you find all our stuff there, guys, you'll see our condensed clips. Keep an eye out on our Facebook page and that for the releases. They're always in our stories. We put up a link for everything. Happy to have you back, Andy. Good to be in the seat. This actually went a little bit longer. Sorry if you don't like reminiscing, because we fucking did that for a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, this potty. Like
Yeah.
we haven't really touched on how we met or how this kind of became about so much. So
we haven't actually, as long as the podcast hasn't been together, we haven't. Like the last podcast you heard with me and Andy was more or less the last time I saw Andy. So
yeah,
this is our first time in a couple of weeks, which is really out of the usual for us to sit down, have some beers, and talk. So you guys really just got a conversation that me and Andy would have had rather than kind of tackling whatever's happening in the world sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see you next week, guys. Peace.
Later.
Good night, eh?